Hey, it's Tanvi and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing another episode of Kitchen Treks, which is a series on my channel where I try to make a recipe from around the world that I've never made before and that usually I've never had before. And today I want to make a Christmas dessert since Christmas is right around the corner. Today I'm going to be making an Australian Pavlova with a little bit of a twist. Normally when you make Pavlova, you can serve it with some fresh fruit like blueberries, strawberries, kiwi, honestly like any fruit that you want. It's kind of like a cake, but it's a meringue and it has like a nice crust on the outside and then like a marshmallowy center. And then it's topped with whipped cream and fruit. So it's like very fresh and light. It's not like having like a pound cake, do you know what I mean? But I am gonna add, instead of berries, I am gonna add blood oranges and cranberries. I don't know about you, but I cannot wait to taste this, so let's get started. First, we want to start off with cranberry sauce because we want it to cool before we even make the pavlova. So let's go over to the stove. First, you want to get a saucepan big enough to hold 12 ounces of cranberries. Then we want to add in our fresh cranberries, half a cup of sugar. I'm trying to coat all the cranberries. Next, I'm gonna add the zest of one blood orange, followed by the juice of the blood oranges. You don't want any seeds. And a quarter cup of water. I'm pouring it directly over the sugar to like dissolve the sugar. 2 cinnamon sticks for spice. A dash of nutmeg, around half a teaspoon, and then 2 cloves that we're gonna fish out later. And you wanna go ahead and heat this up and bring it to a boil. You wanna make sure to give it a mix, and I'm gonna let this simmer for around 10 minutes. As you can see, almost all of the cranberries are popped. So this is actually like a really good place to be in. I'm gonna let this go for 2 more minutes and then I'm gonna turn off the heat. This is literally perfect. The 2 more minutes that I added to this definitely paid off. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the stove off and remove this from the heat because it's done. And I'm gonna let this thicken up and cool completely before I put it in the fridge. Now that we're done with our cranberry sauce and you've tasted it and you've made sure that you like it, we're gonna let it cool and we're gonna start with our actual pavlova. So get your baking sheet and then get some parchment paper. And we want to trace out our circle. This is how big our pavlova is gonna be. So I'm gonna make mine kind of big, around, I want to say this is like 8 inches, and I'm just gonna take a pencil and, oh, I missed the paper altogether, and trace it. And don't worry, the side that we trace is not gonna be the side we put the pavlova on because nobody wants to eat pencil. Gross. Here's the circle, and we're just gonna turn it over. Once we're happy with our shape, we're gonna set this to the side and come back to it after we're done whipping up our meringue. The first step in making the pavlova is getting 4 eggs. And we're gonna separate the yolks from the whites because we're only using the egg whites today. So I'm gonna do this with my hands because I don't like using the shell, just because the shell might like crack the yolk. So first I'm gonna carefully put eggs. And I'm gonna use my hand to get rid of the yolk. And I'm gonna put the yolks aside here. And every time I get an egg white successfully, I'm just gonna plop it in to my mixing bowl. That way, if I mess up the next one, it's okay, I didn't ruin all of my eggs. So, just gonna repeat that. I can't believe this was a success. I didn't mess up yet. Now I'm gonna clean this up and we're gonna go to the next step. So I have my egg whites in here and I'm using the whisk attachment, my stand mixer. You can do this by hand, but that'd take a long time, really long time. So before I add in any of my other ingredients like my sugar, my lemon juice, my vanilla, and my cornstarch, I am gonna bring these to like a soft peak. So you wanna start off on like a lower setting and let it whisk up for about a minute or two. So these are soft peaks. At this point, once it gets to soft peaks, you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And you want to start gradually, like very slowly, adding 1 1/4 cups of very fine granulated sugar into these egg whites. So I'm going to turn this off for a second and check the peaks that I have. And as you can see, they're not stiff. Like, they're almost there, but they're not there yet. So at this point, you want to keep going for maybe about like 2 more minutes. And you want to add in your lemon juice. I'm adding in ½ teaspoon of lemon juice, but instead of lemon juice, you can add in ½ teaspoon of white vinegar or even ½ teaspoon of cream of tartar. But it's important to have this acidic element because it helps stabilize the meringue. Now we're gonna keep whisking these eggs for about 2 more minutes, and we're gonna slowly add in our lemon juice and our vanilla. I think it's done. See, the stiff peak is staying up, which is lovely. And I can go like this and it's staying up. And give it a little taste just to make sure that we can't like feel like the sugar. That's good. Now that we're happy with this consistency, we're gonna take our cornstarch and fold it in. Now that it's all mixed in, we're gonna get our baking sheet and start shaping our pavlova. Aiming for the circle here. This wasn't that great of a plop, but at least it's in the circle. That's all that matters. Also, I think my circle's too big. That's okay, this is the first pavlova I've ever made. Probably won't be the last. I'm gonna go ahead and take little dots of this and put it on here so that my parchment paper doesn't move around too much because that's annoying. Hands are gonna get messy today. Yeah, my circle is definitely way too big. Oh no! I'm gonna take off these earrings. They keep falling out because I lost the backs. Let's ignore that. Let's ignore that. That didn't happen. I feel like I'm doing this wrong. Okay, I'm trying to smooth out this part of the circle because... And I'm also trying to add a lot of stuff to the side so there's like a ridge. I'm trying to like make like a wreath-like design without it being actually a wreath. And then I'm kind of gonna go up like this to make it look even fancier, to try to save it from looking bad. You can do whatever you want, really. And I'm making like kind of like a divot because this is where the cream and blood oranges is where that's gonna go. Okay, but for now, this is like good. This is good. This is now gonna go into the oven for 90 minutes. It's really important though, because right now the oven's at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, but we're gonna put this in the oven and then reduce the heat to 200, like immediately. So it's been almost an hour of the pavlova being in the oven, and since it's almost done, I wanted to let you know that at this point, when the timer goes off, all you're gonna do is turn the oven off. but you're gonna keep the oven door closed because we want to gradually bring the Pavlova, what? We want to gradually bring the Pavlova to room temperature, but we don't want to shock it all at once. So we're gonna let it cool down in the oven for another hour, and then honestly let it cool for another 30 minutes with the door just ajar a bit. After an hour of letting the Pavlova cool down in the closed oven, you want to leave your oven door ajar and let it cool down for another 30 minutes. And while we're doing that, we are gonna make our whipped cream. This whipped cream is gonna be really simple. All I'm gonna do is pour in around 1.5 cups of heavy cream, followed by 1/4 cup of sugar and some vanilla. Let's give it a taste. That's really good. The Pavlova is done, so I'm gonna take it out of the oven. It's like hard on the outside, and when we cut it open, it's gonna be soft on the inside, like marshmallowy. So I have this plate here. This is the plate that I'm gonna serve my Pavlova in. Well, decorate it in. So it should come off super easily, just like it did. I hope that you saw that. I hope it's in frame. We will see. But now, I'm gonna move that out of the way. Now we're gonna take our whipped cream that we made and just lather it in the middle. Slather it or lather it? I don't know what the word is. I'm just gonna literally take a bunch of it and just smooth it out. And you wanna do this no more than 30 minutes before you serve, because since this is kind of like a wet liquid, the whipped cream and all of the toppings that you put on your Pavlova, they're gonna make the crunchy part of this meringue soft. So you don't want it to sit with the toppings on it for too long. You want to serve it like right away. And here it is. I'm gonna get another spoon, and I am gonna put our homemade blood orange cranberry sauce in the middle. That's good enough. And I'm gonna go ahead and top this off with some blood oranges just for garnish. Although, how do I want to do this? 3 colors of blood oranges that I like dehydrated. I'm trying to get them to sink in. I'm kind of obsessed. Wait, I'm so excited to try this. I'm gonna let you see it from all angles. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you try to make this at home. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you've ever had Pavlova or what your favorite holiday dessert is, because maybe I'll make it next year. Before you go, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more food videos like this one, as well as travel vlogs and other lifestyle content. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching.